live from Detroit, Michigan, in studio for the very first time, which is super exciting. I'm your host for tonight, Jordan, joined by one of my favorite co-hosts, Laura. Laura, how are you doing tonight?
I am excellent. It's always good to have you live.
Yeah.
And
this is our third one in a row. We've
off,
done live together in different parts of the country.
Coming all the way to my home state here.
Yes, I did. Just for this.
Yeah.
No, not actually. Well, we got more stuff. We'll get into that in a little bit. It has been a crazy few weeks here at Bronco Nation, as I'm sure all of you are aware. We've seen a lot of you in person and even more of you online, which is great. So without further ado, we're going to dive right into it. We're going to talk about the Moab Bronco Safari, recap our time there. We're going to talk about the Bronco Trail App, some new exciting things on the website, our very next Bronco base camp in Redmond, Oregon. Motor City Bronco Fest happening this weekend. Some forum news, some podcast news, and of course Q&A as always. So if you guys have any questions or want to have any thoughts shared, discussed, whatever, make sure to leave them in the super chat. You guys are very good at that. As you can see, we are down a co-host or two tonight, so we are counting on you guys to be our third and fourth co-hosts. I see a ton of you in the chat already. Laura, you're right there. I saw your name in the chat. Ragnar Khan, Ford Video Guide, Tim Bartz, Michael Cooper, Zach Loescher, Scott Wisen, hello. E.G. Bronk, Ali Dubois, I'm the Princess, Chris Burns, so many familiar faces. Will, hey guys, it is great to have you all. But yeah, Laura, let's dive right into it. And we'll start with Moab.
Mm-hmm. That was my second year at Moab.
Yes, it was.
Well, you've been there more times.
It was my second year at Moab Bronco Safari.
Yeah.
Like my fourth or fifth year at
I
Moab.
enjoyed it. I liked it a lot better than EJS, Easter Jeep Safari. Nothing wrong with that one, but I thought it was really fun to have a dedicated Bronco one there with the Utah Bronco Club. So yeah. I will be going back next year.
It was super cool. This is the first time we've done Moab Bronco Safari as Bronco Nation. Last year we went just as an attendee to kind of scope it out, and it was massive this year. It was like 400 and wait, we're not supposed to say. It's a lot of it was a lot of Broncos, which is really cool. I was there since Monday or Tuesday, and you guys came in a little bit later.
Wednesday, yeah.
What was your favorite part about that?
Oh, putting me on the spot. I love the trails. I did Hell's Revenge, which I never really saw myself doing that at this point in my career yet, but I had Melissa Clark and Brian Clark in the vehicle with me.
They're in the chat.
And with their guidance, I felt way more confident.
Yeah.
I'm scared of heights, and that first entry into it was not it for me. And I think Melissa and Brian both kind of tricked me. They're like, just get to the bottom, it'll be fine. And it was, and I had a great time. So I love doing the trails together as a group, and having the off-rodeo guides there. I wasn't there for Tuesday
or Wednesday when we did a bunch of other trails.
Yeah, so we had Blake from Moab out there on the trails too as well. So I thought that was awesome. I still like that at this point. Michigan does not have trails like that, so
no.
I'm learning right alongside with you guys, and that was a great opportunity.
It was super cool. I ran Poison Spider with Melissa on Wednesday, and then I don't think we did a trail Thursday, but then I did Hell's Revenge with you on Friday as well with Lauren. And it was just super, super cool to get out there and to see so many people do a trail like that for the very first time. I have done Poison Spider a couple of years ago with the Ford engineers, and then we ran it with Melissa actually the week before, which the video is out now, so if you guys haven't seen that, you can go watch the video on YouTube after this. But it's one of my favorite trails because there's a nice balance of little bit of high speed, lots of technical stuff, different types of rock crawling, more slick rocks, and more bony and ledge kind of terrain. But it was great to see so many Broncos out there, and I know we had a lot of people sign up and we couldn't accommodate everyone, so we do apologize if you weren't able to go on that trail with us, but obviously there's limitations for safety reasons and permitting and all sorts of other stuff. But no, it was super cool. And then, like you said, the Lauren Healy VIP drive on Friday was really epic too. You went up Hell's Gate.
I rode it.
But you still went up.
Yeah, Melissa was going to let me drive it. I'm glad she didn't.
I drove up.
Yeah, you did great.
Yeah. No, it was very fun. It was cool to see a lot of people drive up Hell's Gate who hadn't done it before.
Yeah.
There was a family that drove all the way up to Moab from Mexico City for this event, which was really, really neat. And they're Everglades, and they drove up Hell's Gate, which was super cool to watch. So it was just a very exciting day, and felt like the Bronco community was more vibrant than ever because so many people have gotten their vehicles now.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that they were able to bring them out and enjoy them in such a beautiful place like Moab is is super cool. And the Utah Bronco Club did an excellent job of putting on the event, and we will certainly be back.
The commitment that people have coming to these events is something that I am just in awe of. We have many people coming back to back from Tennessee out to Moab and then on to the next, and I know that's not possible for everybody, for most of us, but for the people that it is possible for, it's so cool to have you guys add those. Awesome meeting faces that we see online or we know your names online, but then meeting you in person, that was absolutely just the other best part of it is being able to do the stuff that we love with people we like. So it's someone we love.
So it is fun because we see, you guys in the chat, we see you in the forums, on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, etc. So then when it's kind of like the community, the online community all comes in person and hangs out together in a cool setting like that, it's, I don't know.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts of the job.
Mine
sure.
too.
Now, for those of you who haven't been to Moab, because we've seen a lot of people who have been talking, like, this looks like a bucket list thing, I really want to go, I have my Bronco now, I need to make a trip out there. Laura, what are your thoughts on Moab in general as, like, a town?
I think you have to go. I love the vibe of Moab.
Yeah.
I like smaller towns, ones that haven't been completely commercialized with, like McDonald's or something like that. I don't know. A lot of really cool little restaurants and looks like other cool little stores and things like that. But it's a great hangout place. Everything's, you've got great weather every time that I've been there. I'm sure it gets hot. But everybody's just hanging out outside on the sidewalks, enjoying what you're doing after the trails. So,
Tim Kiley said, "Laura, I love when you sent it up that one line, no broken tie rods." What line is he referring to?
That one. Remember where you guys were like we were right before the tail gunner, and
like one of the very first obstacles.
It was like after we had stopped. And
were we all standing out to the side watching?
Yes.
Yeah. You did just send it up.
I was listening to my spotters.
That was super cool. Scott, thank you so much for the super chat. Scott says Melissa and Brian are top notch all the way. Great job running Hell's Gate, Laura and Jordan. Yes, Melissa and Brian are absolute top notch people. We are thrilled to have Melissa as a part of the Bronco Nation team. She's been cranking out some amazing content and articles for us, and we really appreciate that. So if you want to learn more about the Bronco sport or what it can do or trails or any of that fun stuff from an off-road expert, Melissa is your gal.
Which we need to talk about the Bronco Sport website change. We haven't done that yet, so we can do it now. We can do it later. So if you guys
talk about it, let's wrap up Moab and then we'll talk about it. We know we talk a lot about off-roading, but Moab itself, I want to dwell on that for a second. For those who haven't been to Moab, what are some of your favorite things to do? Favorite coffee shop? Y'all know we're coffee drinkers.
Go to coffee shops. I went to a rock shop there last year. That was actually really kind of cool. I like finding fossils and things on my adventures. So I brought home some fossils that I purchased there. I do love the coffee shops. We didn't do too much else past that. You're kind of out on the trails, and doing things beyond. But what about you?
Moab Garage is excellent. Horse Thief north of town is excellent. That Parisian bakery place that Brian actually turned us on to was really good. They had like great grab and go sandwiches. Dewey's Brewery, Dewey's something restaurant was great. It's just like there's a lot of really good food in Moab and coffee shops and breweries and all that stuff. So that's what I enjoy about having events there, is that it's not just a great place to go off-road and enjoy the vehicles, but it's also a super fun place to hang out with the community
and
do other recreational activities.
The national parks. Head over to Arches, and the river is right there. Especially if you've been to off-rodeo, you can see how close all that beauty is. Just you're centered in it. It's awesome.
Laura, Ben Stottlemyre asks, were there many breakdowns? How did all the Broncos hold up with the different levels of drivers?
On the one drive I got to go on, well, I went on a drive with you, and we had no issues. We had us and one couple.
Is that the only drive we went on together?
Yeah, two.
No, Hell's Revenge.
Yeah,
we just weren't in the same car.
Nobody really had any casualties, I think, other than Chase. Gentry.
Chase Gentry broke his front axle.
But he broke it he was pushing it hard at that point. He's in a hot tub, which is a difficult obstacle. No, I think there's a couple issues just with just some things here and there, but nobody broke anything. I think there was just a couple of people with steering that was getting overheated.
Yeah, but that was
'Cause
mostly
of-
due to driving with
yeah.
both your lockers on, which you
Yeah.
shouldn't do.
Yeah, but it seemed like everybody had a fine time. Even on Hell's Gate, there was two Broncos that kind of laid it on its side. But really, you were resting on the tire. The mirror pushed in, but very minimal damage. You prevented a rollover.
Yeah,
at
Melissa
one
just said that
point.
Jordan caught one Bronco and one Bronco Raptor, but it was. So I think that's what it was. It wasn't
Yeah.
like technical or
Mm-mm.
why can't I think of the word, like hardware
No.
braking, or components of the vehicle braking. It was more just some little oopsies,
Yeah.
vertically challenged, horizontally challenged. That caused a couple people, as Laura said, to roll over. Scott being one of them. There's a video. Chase's
Not
video
roll
actually.
over,
No,
just-
just get a little tippy.
Yeah,
We
off
showed it last
camber.
time, I think,
Yeah.
at the Moab broadcast, but it's in Chase Gentry's new video, his Poison Spider video
okay.
he did on YouTube. It shows me like Superman
Heave
pushing
ho.
Scott back up. And then another gentleman, my footprints were on his roof because I like leg pressed him back over, and he posted that video or a photo of my footprints on his roof on Facebook, which I thought was really funny.
Inside joke for.
Yeah. Scott said, "You just helped me off the wall to prevent scratches." Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Great wheel lift, Scott. You look like a hero.
Well, and that's what's great about the Broncos too, is they go so much farther, even to accommodate for some of us who don't have so much experience yet.
Yeah.
They're not hard to drive,
No.
and as long as you're getting your lines right, you're not going to end up breaking stuff.
No.
So
And I think that's like that narrative starting to change a little bit because tie rods breaking was the big thing online for a while.
Yeah.
But I think people are starting to realize if you're driving within the vehicle specifications
Mhm.
and you're not doing like something stupid, you're not really gonna. You shouldn't break anything.
yeah,
Because when I did durability testing with the engineers a couple years ago, we did all of those, gold bar
Mhm.
rim, poison spider, all the obstacles, on fully stock Broncos, obviously, and we never, at least when I was with them, we never broke a tie rod or anything. So I think that's the thing. If you're driving it within limitations, I mean, our Bronco that's lifted on 37s, we did Poison Spider, we did Hell's Gate, we did Hell's Revenge, all the obstacles, and have not had a single issue with the tie
Yeah.
rods or anything. So I think if you're driving within the vehicle's specifications and limitations and not overbuilding it, because obviously, a tie rod designed for 35-inch tires probably won't hold up on a 42-inch tire. That's just basic math. You'll be fine.
and there's such a varying amount of different trails of levels
There are.
that you can do. So if you're in one of those spots where you're like, well, I've been to off rodeo, I've got some experience behind the wheel, maybe not in this destination like me, start on Chicken Corners or
Yeah.
Schaefer's Trail even. I think that one's not that difficult.
No.
Schaefer's
Schaefer Creek.
Creek, yeah.
Schaefer Creek.
So Melissa has an article online right now for all trails for Broncos and sports that you could check out. Jordan has a video, Easy Off-Roading in Moab,
Oh, yeah.
that's on her
Chicken
channel.
Corners.
So you can start small. You don't need to, like Moab, I think in a lot of people's minds is like, oh wow, that's where you go for some hardcore off-roading, but it doesn't need to be that way.
Schaefer
And
Creek. Yes,
yeah,
Melissa. Thank you.
Thanks, Melissa.
Yeah. She's the Moab expert.
Yeah, so great time for anyone. We had a sport last year
Yes.
at EJS,
And that gentleman actually upgraded to a two-door wild track and came
it
back
was
this
great
year.
to see. I don't think we had any sports on the trails with us this year. We did at Tennessee.
No, we
Moab,
did not
but
have any this
but
year. At Tennessee, we did.
Come
yeah.
out, like there's plenty of for you to do. Melissa will help you find trails that are within your vehicle's capabilities if you check it out online, and we'd love to have everybody out to these.
Yeah, no, I think it's fantastic. So we're super excited to go back to Moab Bronco Safari next year. We had such a great time. We think next year is gonna be even bigger and better. If you did stay at base camp, we know it wasn't our best base camp ever, so we do apologize.
There were limitations.
Yeah, it wasn't intentional. Just things happen. So we promise it's not our best, but we're gonna next one will be better.
We
So
like a
appreciate your
campfire.
patience. We do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and with that, we'll talk about our next base camp in just a little bit. But Laura was talking about the site. Do you
Yeah,
wanna
so
talk about
Bronco
that?
Sports, since we're covering that heavily right now, we did a change on Bronco Nation. It rolled out on the 10th, and here we are about a week
It's almost
out.
a week,
Oh,
or a week. Yeah.
So you have the ability now on Bronco Nation to filter by Bronco content. sport content, or you can just leave it as is and get all content, which most people have been doing, it seems like, from the feedback that I've received and heard and seen. You guys want to know about all the Bronco vehicles, and so if you are just looking for one or the other, you can filter the forums by that. It jumps the sport pages up higher, so it's easier for you to get to. You don't have to scroll as much. And if you want to just Bronco events, you could do that. Don't do the events just yet. Working on getting those ones kind of tagged in the right area. But you can start tagging them to yourself for Broncos or sports or both. So it's just meant to be a easy way for you to find the content that you need, that you want. And I love that you guys are all using all. I think it's great to know about both. I'm learning new things with Melissa on the sport, and I think it's awesome that we're finally at that point where we've got articles coming out on both.
Yeah, no, super cool. Because at the end of the day, it's about every Bronco, all community, everyone's welcome. And so to have dedicated content for both Big Bronco and Bronco Sport was always the goal, and so we're super excited to offer that now. And Melissa has been a great help on that. In addition to you, your content is wonderful as always, Laura.
And yours is too, Jordan.
Well, I don't do much.
But what
content,
really is awesome,
we're working on it,
is some of the content generated by the community and the forums.
True.
We'll touch on some of that later, probably. But
yes. Before we get too further, I want to say a big thank you to Mitch Watts from Town and Country TV. He says much love from Alabama. Mitch, hey, great to see you. Great to see you at Tennessee. I know our visit was brief, but thanks for all you continue to do for the Bronco community and supporting us. We really appreciate it, and we hope everything in Alabama is fine and dandy. I know I'm excited for football season. We're getting closer and closer. War Eagle, as always. We'll get down there and come see you sometime. But thank you again for the super chat. We really appreciate it. Scott says cost was fair for what we had in Moab. True. For $15 a night, like, come on. What do you expect?
it was dusty.
What event hasn't been dusty?
P&W.
Yeah. People are talking about Allie's Tiffany edition Bronco now.
Well, and she got a Tiffany blue hammock.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Oh, you just stayed in your hammock for the first time, didn't you?
I did.
We talked about Meraki?
Meraki. Yes.
Okay.
Hammocks. So I installed the bracket. It was easy after I dropped the bolts in the frame about 5 times over. Then I got a step ladder, and then I stopped doing that. I was trying to just like perch myself on the rocker, and that wasn't working out so great. But it was fine. It was easy to install. I got it. I was able to get those bolts in and out all the holes the whole time. And so quick 15-minute with me doing it. It was faster in the video when he installs it. Modification that lets me camp in my Bronco, and I've never done a rooftop tent. I have always camped in a tent, and like
or
you
in
gotta,
your cargo area.
Or that, but you got to get got the tarps out, you got the stakes. It's work. You have to arrive within like daylight hours and whatever, tear down time, cleanup time, whatever. So all I had to do was just stretch my hammock A pillar to C pillar.
Does it go between the front seats, like, or do you lay those down? Like, how does that?
You push those forward.
Okay.
And then you fold your rear seats down too.
And it doesn't, it doesn't like bump into you, like there's room.
My hips touched the sides of my rear seats because those cushions and the two-door slide forward and then down and then whatever. So you're not really flat.
Okay.
I'll do some adjustments. I know you can make it more taut or whatever, but it was super comfortable, so easy. And then, I got to go hiking and whatever, and just like a whim. I think I told you that morning, like, bye guys, I'm taking off work. I'm gonna go.
Left, which was great.
Within like an hour, I was packed and ready to go. So I'm a light packer, though.
Scott asks, so the hammock is a must?
I would say that if you do not have a rooftop tent or a camper, and you do want to get on it way quickly, then it's a must. In the two-door, I'm 5'6". I know you can fit taller people. I think you just need to work on adjusting it. But in the four-door, for sure, you're all stretched out so nicely.
Wait, so is the whole top off when you put it up?
No, you don't even have to do that. You just take the panel off. It's no drill. I took my passenger panel off because I put the bracket on the passenger side and then stretched the opposite corner. And so all you do is pull the panel off, and it's right there on the frame. Holes are already there.
So where does it go into the rear cap?
There is on the sport bar some holes, some
Oh,
threaded
okay.
holes.
Gotcha.
And you just put an eyelid
Yep.
in there, and
Makes
it was
sense.
really, yeah, it's really easy. So, and then I went out there after work the other day, and I was in my driveway with the panels off, reading. I almost fell asleep out there. It's
Oh, in your
very
hammock in your
comfortable.
driveway.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah. So I've
phenomenal.
gotten used out of it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Jesse Lewis asks, any word on why heritages keep getting pushed back on production dates?
I think it's the tops,
You
the
think?
mod tops.
Okay.
I mean, that's the forum chatter on 6G and
That
our
would make
forums.
sense.
Um,
We had one in Moab, and it had, it looked like, I think it was the mod top. It had like the gunner's hole in it or whatever.
That thing was that's such an old top.
That was
though.
clapped out.
That
It was
that
clapped
one
out.
has been around for a very long time. That we've seen it, multiple things. So that or maybe the 7-speed.
Yeah.
I
maybe.
don't know where they're at with that one either.
Scott wants to know, I wonder if it'll work with the Raptor crossbar. Do you know the Meraki Sorry, back to the hammocks.
Yeah, I'm not.
Jumping around.
I'm not sure if Randall's tested that. I think I saw him in the chat. He could probably pipe in and say if he's tested with the Raptor, but
I think I did see him. Yeah,
Uh,
Randall, if you're there.
I'm gonna do a forum thread on MBN, and I'm gonna put in
Hammock
like my camping
review.
location. It is gorgeous. I sent you guys the pictures.
You're not going
but-
to gatekeep it?
No,
Oh.
it's primitive camping. It's
Oh.
just nice and dispersed. You're away from you're right on the river. So I'm gonna go on the member map, and I'll put that like the link to the forum thread in there, and it gives the coordinates. And
I feel like we could have a whole topic on like should you gatekeep secret off-road spots or not. There's a whole
well, this was just. I
discussion
mean,
on
this
that
is just
on
like
Overlanders.
this is just like a camping spot. I don't think so. I mean,
Okay.
it's on recreation.gov. You could find
Oh,
it.
okay. Okay.
And then if you go and you
it's
talk
not some like
to
hidden.
oh no. And if
Okay.
you go and you talk to any of the forest rangers, they'll give you all the tidbits about the best spots. So I'm all for sharing.
Tim Bart's.
I booked my ones for the ones that I want the rest of the year,
Oh.
so now I can share it.
You guys, free reign now, guys.
Yeah.
Open season. Tim Bart says BN needs to go to Bronco Super Celebration, Wisconsin.
We went last year. Some of us did. We were tied up at Super.
Something. Oh no, we were at PNW.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
what it was.
We were at something else. Oh yeah, I guess I wouldn't be 2 Supercells.
We'll be at Supercell West.
Yeah,
How about that?
I'm interested in that new one. That's in Nevada.
Carson City?
Yeah, and
Just because it's proximity to Reno or Tahoe.
yeah, and then they're gonna go look at some ghost towns, which sounds
Oh, wow.
fun.
Yeah, Super Celebration West is not high on our priority list.
No,
Just
no,
not.
Super Celebration,
Sorry, what did
Wisconsin.
I say? Wisconsin.
Yeah.
West is
we
high.
will be at West.
Yeah, sorry,
West is
Wisconsin
great,
is
yeah.
not high on the list for all Bronconation to be at. But if you go, send us pictures. Somebody else asked another
It's
one.
good. It's just
Oh,
I think it's more
it's
like
just-
Townsend where there's not so much like off-roading.
Yeah, it's kind of like a parking
It's like
lot.
scenic
It's like
drives.
cars and coffee, kind of.
Well, and that was the first year. We'll see how
Yeah.
this
Who
year
knows?
goes.
Let us know.
I wouldn't turn you away from it.
No. Who gets to keep the Escapade in their driveway? That's a luxurious camping option. Guilty as charged.
Yeah, I just dropped a Bronco off at your, and you got the other. Yeah.
Yeah, I used it last week.
Jordan's
it's awesome.
kitted out.
And, well, we're going to talk about PNW in a little bit, but we may have some luxurious tent offerings for you all there, but we will get that in a second.
Mhm.
Randall is here, Tim Kiley said. I don't know if he... Oh, Randall Brown. He said, Scott, it's great meeting you. Let's get a hammock in your Raptor. Okay, well, cool. Tim Bartz is going to West as well. See you there. Yeah, we'll be at West.
Randall's like covering the nation with
Yes.
hammocks.
Yeah, and Tim Bartz is covering the Supercells.
Yep.
Did someone say Supercell West? Yes, we did. We'll be there. Okay, moving on.
Okay.
Speaking of off-roading and trails, the Bronco Trail App. We
Mhm.
want all of you, if you've used it, to let us know what you thought down in the super chat so we can see your experience or hear your experience. We know there's been issues. I used it. I don't think you got
I
much of a
connected
chance
it.
to use it. Okay.
But I haven't, and I've played around with it, but I haven't
Okay.
done video recording or anything.
How does
like
it
that.
work with Android? Because I'm an Apple
It
user.
was
You're an
so
Android.
easy.
Was it?
All I had to do, that's why I feel bad for everybody who's CarPlay. All I did was just hook it up, and it worked the first time. I did
It
like
doesn't
do one
crash?
little loop. Well, I haven't tried the video recording, and I think that's where
Okay.
it was crashing for everybody. The trail overlay. So far,
Yes, I'm
you
sure I
know.
want your opinion on it. That's what we're here for.
yeah.
Tell us your opinion, please.
Yeah, so we haven't gotten to play with it too much, but I hooked up easily. That's as far as I got, which is better than some of you guys. And I think like it's got.
Did
so
you
many...
download a map and then like click go and like it
Yes.
gave you the turn by
Yep,
turns?
yeah,
Okay.
sent it right to my Bronco, and I was on Wi-Fi.
Were
and
you wireless or wired? Android
I
Auto.
was. I think it instructs you the first time to be wired.
Yeah.
I honestly I forget at this point. All I know is
I always
it
do wired.
worked, and I felt bad for everybody who was frustrated by it.
Yeah.
Because again, it has a lot of really cool looking features in there. And I know sometimes, like we've experienced this ourselves, that if you don't have a great first experience, you're a little bit
You're not gonna come
less
back.
apt to come back. So I hope people do come back as things improve on there.
Yeah.
Because I do think there's some cool stuff.
And if you're gonna share your experience in the super chat, which we do genuinely want you guys to do because we want to hear, the good, bad, and the ugly. Let us know if you're an Apple or an Android user, because I was a beta tester for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess I had access for a while, but I only was able to go out and use it for a couple weeks ahead of time.
Right.
And it'll be in the video. We're posting the Fins and Things trail guide video tomorrow, so you'll see, because we used the Bronco Trail app as much as we could in the
cool.
video, and I made the disclaimer at the beginning, hey, this is a beta version, so it may not work, and then you kind of, throughout the video, I trail off talking about it because it didn't work. And so I said, I think this will be resolved in the production version. And then they weren't resolved. So
For Apple users.
for Apple users, yeah.
That's why I
Technical
will never
Disaster said if you don't
switch.
get the permission right the first time, you have to delete the app and try again. Interesting. JC Castro said hasn't worked for me. Tried it twice. Moved to another app. Is anyone else having to sign in every time as well? It never remembers my credentials. iOS user. Yeah, I had that issue actually. It wasn't every time, but it would be like at the most inopportune times. Like I was halfway through Poison Spider, and then it was like, then
Sign
it
in.
quit working, and then it signed in. I'm like, I have no cell service either. I can't use it. So, JC Castro said hasn't worked for. Oh no, I already read that comment. Tom Dunbar said I was able to load it no problem right out of the box. Apple user. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
It seemed to be working for me now, said Scott. Maybe I need to update it and try again. Obviously, Detroit isn't ripe for trails, and I'm not going to take my rental car. It's not compatible with the Bronco Trail app. I think it was one of those things I was like, and I told Laura this. There's a TikTok. I don't know if any of you were on TikTok, but I was like, it's good. I'm waiting for you to be great. Because I think there's a ton of potential here with the Trail app. I think there's a lot that can be done, especially from the community piece, because obviously our whole thing is community. It'd be cool to like share, to post. Like if you clicked on a trail, you could see like the last 10 or 20 users who did the trail, how long it took them, any notes or photos they posted. Like the community sharing aspect, average time it took people would be really unique.
Yeah.
Because, and I get the phone, like the video recording thing, but my issue with that is there's so many times where I want to hop out of the car, take my phone and take pictures of the car. So in your phone, if it's like mounted on the dash recording, and then you stop, put the car in park,
That's
it
a good
shuts off
point.
the app. I hop out, take a picture, I go and I have to start the whole thing over again. And then
Yeah.
it just defeats the whole purpose. Plus, when am I ever going to watch a 4-hour video of me on Poison Spider? I'm not going to.
Well,
So,
yeah, there are definitely limitations, and there are definitely more people who, there are some people who will be more profitable for than others. Like I
Yeah.
imagine people making YouTube videos, that would be great for them to have the trail overlay. So I just want to see more of it. I would like to try more
yeah.
with it too, and just come away with a better opinion. But all I know is I've connected well, and that made me happy.
And old Exemer, I think is how you say it, brought up a really great point that I wanted to bring up too. Is it stinks they won't let users add trails to the app. It's going to take forever for them to go through and map locations. I think that's a great point. I think it'd be really cool as users to go and map them. Like Bronco Knoll's not on there, and people go
Right.
to Bronco Knoll all the time. So if you could map it, or at least record your drive, so there's some point of reference for people who may not know how to get there. Again, just all that community sourced information, all that community sourced data would be really cool, because if you go on Poison Spider 2 years ago, if you're going Fins and Things 2 years ago versus now, the trail looks very different.
Yeah.
So if you can mark, hey, there's this new obstacle, there's this rock in the way, this is more rutted out, be mindful of these things before you go, and it's kind of a ever updating system.
Yeah.
So you have the latest up-to-date information, like a crowdsourced weather app almost, I think would be really, really
Yeah.
neat.
And if they even just tag those as like, community generated or something like that, so people have an idea of whether it was pro mapped or us mapped. Not that
But
we
you
don't
could
have
add a
pros in the
disclaimer,
community. Yeah,
this is an official map trail, this is a user
Yeah,
map trail.
for
But then
sure.
you could build ratings like, hey, Laura's mapped 55 trails. People have given her like a 4.5-star rating on her mapping, whatever.
Oh, we love badges and
Yeah, I feel like
stickers
there's a
and
lot you could
things
do.
like that in the Bronco community.
And then people have asked, we've had a lot of people ask about, hey, can you do like badge of honor things like Jeep does? This would be a great way to do that.
It would.
Once you've gone and recorded a trail, if it's simple and easy to record a trail and the app doesn't crash, then I could see a path towards that, which would be really cool.
Yeah, so I guess just give it time.
Yes. One other thing. Oh, this one actually really, really bugged me from a safety perspective. They use a different rating scale than everybody else does for trails.
It was like 1, 2, 3, wasn't it?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
And that's not how people rate trails. So it said Poison Spider was a 4 on the app. Poison Spider is not a 4.
Yeah.
Poison Spider is a 6, going towards a 7 if it continues to get rutted out. So what I do not want to happen is someone sees it's a 4, equates in their mind that it's a typical rating system 4, and then gets in a really crappy situation out on the trails.
It's like the all trails for hiking where they're like easy, and then you're crossing ravines and
Yeah. Melissa said regular trail rating is a 1 through 10.
Yeah.
It's a 6. Ford uses 1 through, or Trail App uses 1 through 4, which totally can warp your perspective.
Because I think,
if
isn't
you
that
go
what
on,
Fun Trucks uses?
I don't know.
They use a lesser versus the Red Rock four-wheelers, I believe.
And it just said like 4, difficult.
Yeah.
But it didn't give you like, you need this, this, and this.
Yeah, so go use it with a grain of salt right now.
Yeah.
Be careful when you go
And
out.
I even saw a video like, hey, I'm using the Trail App. We're on a trail. It's rated a 4. I'm like, that trail is not rated a 4.
Yeah.
It's a 6 or a 7. So that's a safety thing, honestly, is if people are used to the 1 through 10 system and then you give them 1 through 4, that means you're lumping everything from like a 5 to a 10 in the 4 category, and it's not going to be that way.
Yeah.
So I think a lot more disclaimer for you may die. Fair enough. So that's one thing that I would really like to see updated in the app is how the trail ratings are created. There's just not, there's a way too many variables to fit in a 1 through 4 scale.
Yeah,
way too many.
I don't know if at this point I see that changing, but we'll see.
It should. Take the feedback.
Okay.
Yes, more badges. They do need to crowdsource it, cause I doubt it'll continue to develop for years and years to come, says Ragnar Khan. JC Castro said, agreed. Standardization of the ratings, especially for newbies. Melissa, they use easy, moderate, and difficult. That's not enough. There are numbers. It is numbered 1 through 4. But yeah, it says easy, moderate, and difficult. They're just too wide of bands for something like Moab where there's
yeah, and we've talked about that
Golden
before
Spike.
with like recovery and things. Like just because the Bronco makes it so easy to get off road, we all do have limitations, and our experience does play a huge part in doing stuff safely. So, yeah, I understand that.
So I think that's a very important thing to note if you're going to use the app. So that's our thoughts on it. Zach said they use ski maps, green, blue, black, double black. Who does? Fun Tracks? I'm not sure. Are you familiar with Fun Tracks?
I
sure
used
what
it a
that
little
reference
bit.
is into,
Melissa
Zach,
knows
sorry.
more. She can
Okay.
pop in, and she knows the people who make them.
But yeah, I think the Bronco Trail App has massive potential. It's something I would really love to use on a regular basis, but it's going to need a couple more.
Double black diamond, says Tim.
Or just a couple more updates.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
And they know that, I think, Ford.
Yeah. But at least it's out there. At least we know it exists now.
Hooray.
Yeah, and Bronco Sport. Please add Bronco Sport.
Yeah.
Does it work with any other vehicles? Like if you plug it into a Ranger, is it going to work?
Not the Bronco one. This is Bronco specific.
Okay.
But it's a platform for,
Yeah.
I think, for other vehicles.
Okay. Anyways, that's my thoughts on the Bronco Trail App.
Yeah.
It's good. I'm waiting for you to be great. Next, member map. You hinted at it earlier with the camp spot. There was something you wanted to talk about.
Well, even like that would be awesome. So the member map, if you guys aren't aware, we have that on bronconation as one of the membership features.
Yes.
And it has trails and campsites and things that you can add yourself. So there is one, like this whole user-generated side there. And then we honestly had not done a lot with, I think, because back in the day we knew the app was coming, and we thought it'd be cool to be able to
for a long time.
Yeah, take like your trails that you're doing and put them on there and whatever. But I see a lot of people using it for campsites. I think there's like ranger stations and other things mapped that you can go on there, and then
On the
people,
member map?
of course, yeah, yeah.
That shows how
You
little I
gotta
know.
you gotta go by the filters.
Oh,
Yeah, that's why I'm saying like we can do now, like now that we have Melissa and we've got sometimes we have more free time. Ebbs and
us.
flows. Not really. I don't know why I said that. We don't have more free time.
No, no free time.
But we would love to do more with that, where it's like, okay, yeah, no, I do know that my friend in Bronco Nation has put this campsite on there or this trail or whatever, and it'd be cool if
Rate
you
it.
could. It would be really cool if you could use those video overlays
Huh.
and put that on there. So then it's just like all this whole like
I'd love if we
intermeshing
created
of
like some community
information.
campsites where people keep going, different people go stay there and post their
Yeah,
pictures.
yeah.
That'd
And then
be
you
fun.
can find people in your area, of course.
Ta-da. Bob says a primer video for the trail up would be nice. Is there one out there? Not that I'm sure there is.
I think Ford Video Guy did one, Tim
Okay.
Bartz, and then Ragnar Khan did one about hooking it up, just a quick one like that morning.
We we want to do one, but again, we haven't been able to get it to like fully function and stay functioning through a full video. So if it gets a few more updates, I'll keep checking on it, and if it gets a little more smoothed out, we'll make a video. But
Yeah, because there's so many features like the weather and all the different things in
Yeah.
there that you could explore around in there.
yeah. Okay, is that all you have to on the member map?
Yeah.
Okay, PNW Base Camp. Laura, why don't you tell us about Overland Expo Pacific Northwest, and then I'll dive into the base camp deets.
Yeah. So we went to 3 of the expos
Yes.
last year. We went to the one in Arizona, we did the one
West.
in Oregon, and then we did the one
PNW.
in Virginia.
Yep,
I
east.
wasn't there. Yep. So those are great. They're set up mostly for overlanders, for people who love motorcycles, off-roaders. Um,
It's a whole kit and caboodle,
yeah,
a
it's
bunch
really
of stuff.
anybody who's adventurous in other ways past off-roading too. Um, I don't know. That's funny. But, a great time if you're looking for gear, if you want classes. They have this whole host of education
yeah.
schedules. I think that's like one of their main selling points is you can go and do so many classes
Ton of
on
instructional stuff.
yeah, best ways to overland, and they do recovery and they do all sorts
Camp
of everything.
cooking,
Yeah,
all sorts of jazz.
yeah. Really, you could spend a lot of money there.
Yeah.
But you could learn a lot too. So we started going to those last year, and we're gonna do our first one coming up July 7th through 9th
Yep.
at PNW, and we're in the planning stages right now of our excursions and our
Yes.
trails. I'll let Jordan talk about those some more. But we'd love for you guys to come camp with us. And like we joked about at the beginning, this is one of the ones where you're on grass, one of the few like more hospitable
It was the
environments.
least dusty event
Yeah.
all year last year, by far, and least windy.
Yeah, and
Knock on wood, I'm not going to jinx us, but
right. Yeah, we had good weather. It was gorgeous out
Oh,
there.
it was
so
amazing.
really looking forward to going back and seeing more of the area too.
Yeah.
And the expo was fantastic, especially if you're looking for some deals or want to see various parts on Broncos.
Mhm.
There were several Broncos there last year in the booths with XYZ on them.
Yep.
So good place to get some ideas, and the trails and the community portion is what I'm excited about. I like the expo, but I'm very slow to add accessories and anything to my Bronco.
Understatement of the
Um,
year.
It's a Badlands. It was.
I know.
Got it because I knew I wouldn't have to
I
do
know.
a build anytime soon. So yeah. So the community portion is what I'm looking forward to. Tell us what you got up your sleeve.
We got things cooking. I think. Yeah, no, we're cooking some things. No, it was a super cool base camp last year. It takes place in Redmond, Oregon, Redmond Bend area, which is a beautiful part of the country. Super tall trees, redwoods, there's waterfalls, there's hikes, there's rivers and fishing and just lakes. It's really, really cool part of the country. So last year we did a base camp, as Laura mentioned. We're doing it again this year. If you came to the event last year, it's going to be in the same space. If you didn't come last year, then you'll have no idea what I'm talking about, but information will be out soon. But this year we're looking at taking it up a couple notches and having a few more premium offerings as opposed to our previous base camp offerings. Now, if you want to bring all your own equipment, you're like, hey, I love all my own stuff. I got an RTT or a trailer or my own ground tent, and you want to do that, that is perfectly fine. You are welcome. We will have more than ample space for you. But if you're kind of on the fence and you're like, okay, I've tried the base camp tents before, They're good, but I don't want to bring all my own stuff. We are in the final stages of securing some options where you can just show up with your clothes and a toothbrush, essentially. Now, I take that with a grain of salt, too. But it'll be more like glamping. And then somebody mentioned Escapade. We are also talking, seeing if we can work out the option for you to stay in Escapades on site, rent them. Obviously, with these kind of options, the price point will be a little bit higher than what we've had at previous base camps, but it's because
You'll be
it's
more
just
comfortable.
arrive and everything's set up for you. We're gonna have welcome kits. There's gonna be food. We're gonna have trail excursions. We're also gonna have more recreational excursions. So I've teased this before, talked about this, but we're looking at some more fly fishing kind of things. So you can learn to fly fish. I was actually out on the river yesterday fly fishing in Utah with one of the guides we're considering bringing. Caught some brown trout. It was an amazing time. So if I can fly fish, I know most of you can fly fish. So we're looking to branch out just beyond off-roading, and Overland Expo is a phenomenal event to do that because it is more heavily outdoor focused as opposed to just off-road focused. So if you're wanting to dip your toe in the water, literally, and do something where your Bronco takes you to the adventure as opposed to your Bronco is the adventure, this is going to be the event for you. But we'll still have off-road options as well.
Yeah.
And our trail excursions last year were super cool and super scenic. So it's exciting. We're very excited. We will have more information very, very soon. I know a couple people asked. I forget where it was. I don't know if it was on the forums or Instagram, but I saw it today. I don't know if this person's watching or not. If not, I'll give you an answer online. But if they need to buy tickets, or if we're going to have a link like last year, we will have our own link to buy tickets within like the next week or so.
I did see somebody wanting to the VIP experience.
They said, should I sign up with you or buy that?
See, those sell out so quick.
Do
so
they?
If you really want that, that would be great. I believe last year there were people who had Broncos that got to park in our Bronco corral that did not sign up with us, but the VIP experience were turned away because they said it was so much easier for you to be able to attend what you needed to from that side of camp. So that is the only downside. Well, we can look into that maybe. But the VIP experience sells out. So if you are interested in that, just be aware.
Yeah, but no, that we're super excited about it. More details coming in the next week or so. But mark your calendars. Check-in for base camp will be on July 6th, the night before the expo opens, which is Thursday night. Yes,
Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
and then it runs through Sunday afternoon.
Yep.
So 3 nights, 3 days essentially. Lots to come. We hope to see a ton of you there. More pictures and all that coming very soon, so you can get a full idea of what base camp will look like this year. Because I can promise you, it'll be like nothing we've ever done.
They have showers
before.
at PNW too.
Showers, restrooms.
Well, okay, they're still like camp showers.
But it is warm water.
You can get yourself clean better than at like KOH.
Everyone has a different definition of showers.
KOH has like a shower trailer too. So some of these, but we'll get all those details because I know those are important for people and their families trying to decide what they need to bring and do and smell like.
I've already seen a couple people. I think we have 45 plus people say they were coming to PNW already, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
So the more the merrier. All are welcome.
Yeah.
We're gonna have campfires. We're gonna have pancake breakfast, coffee. We're having a welcome party, like a kickoff party. So grand opening base camp party. It'll be really fun. We're trying some new things out at base camp that we've never done, and we all want to hear what you think. If you love it, great. If you hate it, well,
there's a survey that comes after.
There's a survey that comes after. Yeah.
That we take into heart.
We take your feedback very seriously. Just please be kind, whenever possible. Yeah. Okay.
In all areas of life.
In all areas of life.
Mr. Rogers.
What?
I feel like Mr. Rogers right now.
Yeah. Next. Motor City Bronco Fest.
Yeah.
Or did I want to talk about something else first? It'll come to me later.
We can circle back.
Yeah. Go for it.
All right. So in Detroit this Saturday, Motor City Bronco
we are here.
Fest. Yes. The Michigan Bronco Club will be out in full force. We will be there as Bronco Nation.
Are we full force?
There's no.
As fully forced as it's gonna get.
Partially forced.
Partially forced.
But with full heart and attitude of happiness and joy. So if you go to motorcitybroncofest.com, you can sign up there. There's also a link to buy the tickets on the Bronco Nation calendar. So if you go to events and then you scroll down, you'll see Motor City Bronco Fest. The tickets are $50 for entry. It gets you a lunch token.
Ooh.
You do need to have your ORV Trail and ORV Park stickers for Michigan. You do need to have a flag. All of those are available at Hollyoaks, or there's a power sports store not far that you can get those at too. And many of you guys have been there multiple times over, so you're probably already set up for that. So the day is centered around off-roading, around the Bronco community. There will be vendors, there's going to be music, there's a food truck, and then a huge portion
Wow.
of it is celebrating our veterans. So there will be volunteers taking some of our veterans out on the trails.
Laura.
I will be.
Laura is doing
Yeah,
ride
I'm excited to do
drives.
that. I'm not sure if the volunteer positions are all filled up, but if you are interested in joining me on doing that, send me a DM in the forums, Laura at Laura, and we'll see if there's more spaces available. And I think that's a privilege, and I'm excited to do
It
that.
is.
And yeah, I can hop in my little two-door Bronco and
Skirt, skirt.
off we go.
Yeet, yeet.
So sign up if you haven't already. I do believe that there are tickets available on site. There is a $25 off-roading 101 course, and then there is a couple there that does many classes with the Four Fest events that will be there as well for some more expanded learnings as it goes on. I'm sure Allie's dropping some details in the chat too about what they'll be doing with the Michigan Bronco Club, and it'll be a great time. So if you have any questions, put those in there, but we'd love to see you guys come out, and we will take our Broncos around in the dirt and the sand, and there's a little bit of rock that you can do some rock crawling on, Mount Magna. It'll be a great time.
It will be. It will be. It will be. Very excited for it. And the weather has been great. Lot nicer than the last time I was in Michigan, that's for sure.
Yeah. And sports do great at Hollyoaks, too.
Yeah. Ford Video Guide Tim Bartz was talking a little bit about Job 2 changes tomorrow for Bronco and 2024 Bronco.
Yeah.
Not to burst your bubble, Tim, but Laura, some things come up on the forums today.
Yeah, Ragnar
You want to
Khan.
chat about those?
Well, let me pull this up. Ragnar Khan just posted in the forums.
Not going to break any news. We don't think. We don't know. None of this is confirmed, but because it's on the internet, we can talk about it.
Yes. So for Job 2, there is talk of marine grade vinyl becoming standard on base and Big Bend trims, where before
That would be
it
really
was
nice.
Black Diamond and Badlands
Yeah.
only. I love the MGV. I think it's great. I feel like I can mess up my Bronco without consequence.
Fair.
To a degree, but there's a lot of pine needles and sand and everything in my floor mat right now, and I don't care because I know it'll be easy to come out. Get the leaf blower or something. So that is interesting. I think that's a very cool option. I think that might hurt the feelings of some people who wanted that but ended up with a base or a Big Bend
Who
as
wanted
their
cloth
preferred.
or who wanted MGV?
Yeah, MGV.
Okay.
I feel like it's an in-demand item.
I like it.
Yeah.
I really like it. It's my favorite seat.
I think the leather is cooler.
Really?
Yeah,
I disagree.
you get sweaty on the MGV. Your legs stick to it, which you can with leather too. But it's my favorite too. So that is talk of that happening. Cloth is no longer an option on Outer Banks or Wild Track, which Ragnar puts that it hasn't been available obviously since March of this year. They had forced people into
The Wild Track
the
cloth
leather.
wasn't that attractive anyways.
It's like that almost digital camo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just kind of funky.
But cloth is nice, especially if you're in
Yeah.
a hot area.
That's fair.
You have your top off or whatever. You're not going to burn your legs. So there's that, and then also the heavy duty modular bumper, which became an additional, like an upgrade.
Yeah.
At some point in the last
Because they made the
launch. The capable bumper came standard, like on
Yep.
Badlands. I personally like the look of the heavy duty modular better.
1,000,000%. So.
I think
Totally.
the capable is great because you have the fog lights already there, and there's, but me personally, I was excited to get the heavy duty modular on my Bronco. And if you are, so there's all that. But if you ordered any of the following trims, base, Big Bend, Outer Banks, with the heavy duty modular, you no longer receive front bash plates,
That's
which
so lame.
I'm assuming you could probably still upgrade, but just not as standard. So basically, seat coverings and bash plate changes, which isn't a deal breaker either way, I think, for most people. Um, I don't think cloth would stop you from purchasing a Bronco. I think the
No.
marine grade vinyl is actually a benefit.
I agree.
But the bash plates, that's
Lame.
important
Yeah.
for sure. Um, Now, if you're still getting Sasquatch, you get
Do you still get them?
that's yeah. I don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know. We'll find out.
We don't know.
So Ragnar says that these changes are scheduled to take effect on July 10th. So we'll probably hear some more. But
Hopefully.
that was interesting to pop up in the
Yeah.
forums, and I know Tim will have some information, and we'll see what happens there. But what do you guys think about that? Does that make or break anything for you? Are you excited about?
I think the
You're not going to be
MGB is
excited about
positive.
you're not going to be excited about the bash plates.
No. Scott Wyson said he's not a fan of the leather and Alcantara seats in the Raptor. Scott, why is that? Genuine question. I feel like if it had, maybe because it gets really hot, I feel like if it had AC seats, it might be a different story. But I
Yeah.
could see how that could get, the Alcantara could get kind of sweaty, especially living in Texas.
Yeah.
Like Scott does.
Yeah.
But what do you think about those changes, Laura?
I like the MGV. I think that is going to be cool for some people, especially because bass. Everybody loves bass. I mean, it's such a great starting point for Broncos, both price point and what you plan to do with it. And it was limited on other options, and so I feel like it's cool that that one's getting something. I mentioned in the forums too in this thread that I feel like Big Bend, it's an excellent trim, but I feel like it gets forgotten. So it's nice that that feature will be available to more Broncos.
Yeah.
Bash plates, though, I am a big fan of armor. I like using my bash plates and my rock rails. I don't like using them, but I'm glad that they're there when I do need to use them. Being on
100%.
33s, you do find those low spots. So that's sad, but we'll see. We'll see if this is true fully.
Hopefully we get updates.
And yeah.
Well, there you have it. We'll see if
Mhm.
we'll see if those things hold. Next podcast, we're getting to the end of the segment here. So if you guys have any questions, Q&As, comments, whatever, leave them in the super chat. You know the gig. Podcast. This is exciting. Bronco Nation Live, like this episode, will now be available forever and always on, as long as we're around, on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So if you watched this, didn't catch all of it, want to listen to it again, missed it, want to go back and hear it without having to try and figure out YouTube, whether you're in the car or on a plane or want to download it because you're going out of reception, you can now find all the Bronco Nation Live episodes as podcasts on Spotify and Apple Music. And the links to both of those are already in the description of this video. So you can go. We've uploaded 7 popular past episodes. So if you want to go back and listen to those, interviews with the Bronco brand manager, interviews with Mike Levine, recaps or episodes that were at events live, you can go and listen to those. And then this episode will be up in the coming days. And then the episode from Moab will be up, and every episode from here on out will be podcasts, will be available as a podcast. And if it really takes off, we're not opposed to doing exclusive content because we do these bi-weekly every other Wednesday. We're not opposed to filling in those other days with just podcast exclusive content as well on some more specific topics, or doing more interviews with community members or brands or stuff like that. So if there's anything you guys want to hear or see from that, let us know. Shoot us a DM, send us an email, info@thebronconation.com. We love to hear from you guys, and of course want to always be creating content that you guys enjoy consuming, listening to, watching, viewing, whatever, because that's what we're here to do. So yeah, go like, subscribe to the podcast. Really helps us out. Download them. Leave us a review on there if you like it. It's kind of fun. Bronco Nation podcast.
I'm gonna ask a question.
Please do.
That I'm not gonna say it's dumb, but I don't do podcasts.
Okay.
So
That's okay.
I do Spotify. I do not have Apple.
Wait,
so
what do you mean you don't do podcasts?
I don't listen to them.
Oh, you don't
anymore.
listen? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I was like,
Yeah. So if someone wants to get into the podcast world with these, it's just as simple as finding Bronco Nation Live is the
yes.
search.
It's
on
the
there?
same logo as this. I have it on my phone, I think. And you guys, again, like I said, if you click in the link below, or click in the description, below this video you can see, but I don't know if the camera can see it. Maybe. It's just like that. This is on Spotify. Zoom.
All
Focus.
right. So
Something like that. See? It's the
follow
Bronco
the
Nation logo,
links.
Bronco Nation Live. You can see all the episodes that are already uploaded here. And then they are also in Apple Podcasts, if I can find that really quick to show you
Okay.
guys. There you go. Apple Podcasts, right? That look, ta-da!
Bronco Nation Live. There she is. All right. I'll give her
You
a
can listen
whirl.
to our mean mugs on here. Pretty cool though. I don't know. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, I think it's cool to have
Apple Podcasts.
different listening options because I'm
Yep.
not much of a YouTube video person either. I like to read everything because then I can go as fast as I need to, and so it's awesome to be able to
It's so
have
cool.
stuff the way people want to have
Yeah.
content delivered. I know some people don't like to read stuff and they would rather listen or have videos. So
Totally agree. So
Very
we're very
nice.
excited about that,
Yeah.
and we're glad to bring you guys these episodes and all of this subject matter on more platforms because it's fun. Some people had some more comments about the seats. Let me see. I love the look, but not practical for off-road use. I assume they will have plastic bash plates. That probably won't do much. MGV should be available in all trims. I agree. Tim said, I am very happy to not have carpet. I agree. Ben Stottlemyre said, for the Ford Pass app, do you know if they will bring back safety and security, Secure Alert?
So I saw that in the forums, and someone had linked to I think in the main post that was a bonus, a mistake, maybe according to some people getting it in the U.S. market when it was only supposed to be in Europe. Not getting all the details right, I'm sure, but it was available for Mustang or something like that.
Okay.
And then it disappeared, and it was just more of a we're not supporting it because we never planned on supporting it, I believe, from Ford. So I don't think that's probably going to come back for Bronco either. That was where you could, easily put your vehicle was stolen. The push of a button.
You know what just that reminded me of?
What?
Was that cursed video of, like, the break-in video?
We've got some.
We have to
we've
release
got
that video
some
from the
stuff.
archives at one point. I feel like we're far enough removed from the video we could release it. It was probably the most entertaining video we've ever filmed, but
I
it was
wept.
so bad that we couldn't release it.
No, it was yeah.
So bad, like, not like,
Yeah,
the
we've got to have
production
like
quality was good. It watched like an SNL skit unintentionally.
we've got a. You were like heat stroking in the desert.
We're gonna make that like members
we-
only content.
Yeah, we need to have a viewing party, and we'll
Yeah.
get that one out there because it was probably the funniest thing. I'd
We'll
like
have
to
a
see it
Bronco Nation
again.
Film Festival and like
Yeah.
screen it at base camp.
Yeah, exactly.
Collect phones.
We think you guys would laugh at us.
I couldn't breathe watching it back because I didn't watch it for 2 months, and we're all sitting in a conference room and we watched it, and none of us could breathe. That's really funny.
Yeah.
Four high, four low said, Jordan, have you heard of any talk about the Bronco off-road coming down in price for those who would like to go to others outside of your only one allowed from Ford? I have not. When we posted that information online, you all were extremely vocal about your thoughts of the price. We relayed our thoughts on the price as well to the off-rodeo team, and that's all we can do. So we hear you.
So that was
And
specifically he was asking about going more than once.
The retail, like when you want to
Okay.
go back for the
Yeah, yeah.
$2,000,
Yeah.
asked if that price has come down. We have no control over that, probably for the right reasons. But
Because I did read that the Ford Pass.
you can use your Ford Pass points, can't you?
Yeah, for your
Yeah.
first time for your guest and for some other things was
Yeah.
expanded. That was just like a little trial, and then
Because we want everybody to be able to go. We've had
Oh,
the
it's so
privilege
worth
to
it.
go to all four
Yeah.
for work reasons, obviously. But no, a lot of people from the very beginning have been like, we want to go to all four, we want to go to all four, we want to go to all four.
Yeah.
Which is phenomenal. And all locations are incredible in their own right.
It's hard to choose.
So after we post the information of you could go back, pay to go back for the price point, you all made your thoughts very known, which is good. I'm glad you guys share your thoughts and opinions. It's how things change.
Yeah.
So I think probably people saw that who were in charge, and we certainly passed along our feedback on that. So who knows? Maybe it'll come down. I hope for all y'all's sake it does, because we'd love to go to more of them with you all.
Yeah.
But I can certainly understand how that price point is a tough pill to swallow for one day. But no, we certainly let them know. But I have not heard of any talks of it coming down. Maybe we can like finesse a Bronco Nation member discount for you guys though. Melissa said there's $100 off per guest if you book in the next week, but that's for first-time attendees. Yeah, they were running like some first-time promotion for the summer, I think.
Yeah.
Ford Video Guide, does that cost include lodging and travel expenses? No. The $2,000 is just for the experience, and I think includes one guest.
Yes, one
$2,000
guest.
is just the actual day of experience and the guest.
8 hours.
The
lunch.
transportation, lodging,
Yeah.
everything involved in getting there and staying there is separate from that. Can someone go to their second off-rodeo and in someone else's
Yes.
stead? For instance, someone that bought a Bronco but is not interested in going.
Yeah, I've read of people in the forums. You've got to talk to headquarters.
Okay.
Program headquarters, off-rodeo program headquarters. I don't know if they've made just very minimal specific accommodations for that, maybe do the reasoning, or if that's something that they work out. But I have read multiple people say that they've done that before, probably about 2 or 3.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Alice says you can gift them.
Okay,
That's
so
nice.
yeah, something like that.
And also, somebody brought it up last live stream. It was Nikki Brewer and Michael Nias. I don't know if any of you guys are in here, but wanted to swap your spots for Bronco Nation Takeover Day in New Hampshire. Michael, I think the off-rodeo people are trying to get a hold of you to confirm that you're fine with switching. So if by chance you're watching, or if anyone who is watching knows him, if you want to let them know that they can switch with Nikki if possible, that'd be great because we can't get a hold of him. But Tom said, yeah, I would love to go back, but 2,000 was way too high. It'd be great if BN could score some type of member discount. We've asked. Scott can use Amex points. If there's anything about me, I love maximizing American Express points. Unfortunately, off-rodeo does not accept Amex points, but the flights and hotels probably do. I'm a great points hacker if you ever need some help. Patrick Bake says he's selling his off-rodeo for $1,500. Are we gonna? People are gonna start like auctioning off their off-rodeo token. Is there gonna be they could go on the buy-sell trade forums and like auction off off-rodeo tokens. We probably shouldn't encourage that.
I do think it's great though that people can find ways to get there if they, need something creative to get back.
Do you have a token? Can you go?
You
want to sell your token, Laura? Take someone as your guest.
My ladies' day may have counted. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
No, that was for work. You didn't drive.
Yeah, but they asked if I was.
Stop.
I don't know. I did drive. I drove.
The whole time?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, me and Allison Davis. Ford,
okay. I don't know why I thought you didn't drive.
Assistant Bronco brand manager and other managers.
Other managers.
We had a great time. Yeah, and then the first time that I went out with Allie, and I got to sit in the back as Allie drove, and that was amazing. That's Amy Trail led.
Ragnar Khan said, I'd love to know what's HQ's long-term plans are for off-rodeo. Would be cool if they could make it long-term. I'm sure the contract doesn't last forever, I'm sure, but I don't know the details of that. That is way above my pay grade. Allie said they do take Ford Pass points. Tim Bart said 200 Ford Pass points equals $1.
So.
Does that make it 400,000 points to go for free again?
I'm not a math
person.
Is
my math correct? $2,000 times 200. Yeah, 400,000 points for a free day. Wow.
Or you could buy some tube doors.
You could. Zach Loesch said his off-rodeo
points.
token's $14.99. Ooh, they're in a bidding war now.
Who's that? Scott? Well, he's got the Raptor one.
No, Zach.
Oh.
I don't think Scott's auctioning his off. Scott, don't auction yours off. You need to go to Raptor Off-Rodeo. You need to go.
Which should be opening soon.
I hope.
They said summer.
We'll see. Yeah.
We're closing in on that.
Closing on that. Okay. Well, anything else from you, Laura, before we wrap her up here? I think we covered a lot.
No, we'll just post some of that stuff that we were talking about, the news and some more on the member maps and whatever, our little adventures in the forums. I love watching your guys' videos in the forums. Brian Miller does a lot when his channel Northwest Bronco. I don't know the name of his channel, but go in the forums. There's some great videos. Ragnar Khan's in there making videos. Cal Gecko has videos of off-roading, Slash Racer. So all these people post great videos that kind of give you inspiration of the area and places to go next with your Bronco and hang out. And definitely the member meetups on the calendars are top-notch.
Technical disaster. Unfortunately, no merchandise updates. We wish. We've been asking for months? Yeah. Months at this point. Nothing to share, unfortunately. And Melissa, no, you can't be Scott's guest. I've already claimed it. Sorry.
Aren't there 4 seats in the Raptor?
Much love.
You just pay your way.
You could, but no, I already claimed Scott's guest. I'm kidding. Well, if there's nothing else, I think that does it for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank y'all so much for joining us. As always, it's great talking to you on a bi-weekly basis. If you are interested in hearing this episode or previous episodes, you can now watch them, or sorry, not watch them. You can now listen to them on Spotify and Apple Podcast, with more podcast platforms coming soon. If you haven't already, make sure to leave this video a like below the screen. Click the subscribe button if you have not. If you're coming to Michigan Bronco Fest, is that what it's called?
Motor City
Bronco Fest.
In Michigan.
Close enough.
On Saturday.
We'll see you on Saturday. More information coming on Bronco Base Camp, Overland Expo, Pacific Northwest, very soon. And until the next time, we'll see you guys online. Have a wonderful week. Go out and do something fun with your Bronco this weekend, and we will see you guys on the next episode of Bronco Nation Live. Bye, guys.